A corrupt white judge underestimates a young black boy in court, only to be outwitted when the teen exposes the judge's hidden corruption with a jaw-dropping legal argument, turning the courtroom upside down. Humidity presses thick inside a Birmingham courthouse, wooden paneling, and a wall seal gleaming under harsh, fluorescent lights. Onlookers pack the benches, their buzz of anticipation humming through the air like a live wire. Jaden Miles, 15, a black teen in a crisp white dress shirt, black pants, and a red tie, stands at the defendant's table, fingers fidgeting with his knot. His older sister Keisha sits beside him, her faded suit worn thin, charged with a minor theft. She leans close, whispering, "You do not have to do this." Jaden nods sharply. "I do." Footsteps echo as Judge Harold Grayson enters, an older white man with white hair draped in a black robe, his stern gaze slicing the room. Sweat beads on Jaden's brow as he adjusts his tie again, the weight of every eye pressing down. Keisha shifts, her hands clasped tight, a silent plea in her glance. What hangs on her fate? The seal on the wall looms, justice carved in plaster, mocking the tension below. Grayson mounts the bench, his robe settling like a shadow over the proceedings. Jaden swallows, resolve hardening beneath his nerves. Why does a boy step into this storm? The crowd rustles, their whispers a tide ready to turn. Wood cracks as Grayson slams his gavel, the sound snapping the room to silence. "Name," he demands, voice gravelly, eyes pinning Jaden where he stands. Jaden rises, legs firm despite the tremor in his chest. "Jaden Miles, representing Keisha Miles, Your Honor." Grayson smirks, leaning forward, his white hair catching the light. "A boy in a tie does not make a lawyer. Sit down before you waste my time." Murmurs ripple through the onlookers, a wave of doubt cresting behind him. Jaden steps forward, chin up, voice steady. "I am not here to waste time. I am here to win it." Gasps punctuate the air as Grayson's smirk fades, his hand tightening on the gavel until knuckles whiten. The crowd leans in, their buzz sharpening into something electric. Disbelief, curiosity, a flicker of hope. Keisha's eyes widen, her breath catching as Jaden holds his ground. Grayson's gaze narrows, authority challenged by a teen in a red tie. What nerve fuels this defiance? The wooden paneling seems to close in, the seal watching as stakes climb. Jaden's words hang, a gauntlet thrown, daring the judge to dismiss him now. Tension coils tighter, the courtroom a crucible under those harsh lights. Keisha grips the table's edge, her faded suit a stark contrast to Jaden's crisp resolve. Grayson shifts, his robe rustling, a titan rattled by a boy's stand. The onlookers hush, their murmurs swallowed by the moment. Can he back up that claim? Jaden's tie blazes red against the muted tones, a beacon of intent in a sea of skepticism. Time slows, each tick a question. What lies behind his nerve and what will it cost? Light glints off the gavel as Grayson clutches it, his silence louder than any ruling. Jaden stands unwavering, a 15-year-old shadow stretching beyond his frame. Keisha's whisper replays. Does he have to? But his nod answers. He must. The crowd waits, breath held, caught in a drama poised to erupt. One wrong move could crush him, yet his steadiness pulls them in. Why does winning matter so much? The courthouse pulses, a heartbeat of anticipation, promising a fight where youth dares to claim justice. A single bulb flickers in a dimly lit bedroom, its weak glow spilling over peeling paint and cracked walls in Birmingham's struggling neighborhoods. Jaden, 13, sits cross-legged on a sagging mattress, legal texts from a thrift store spread before him. His pencil scratches furiously, carving notes into a battered pad as shadows dance across his face. A voiceover cuts through the quiet. Keisha raised me after Mom died. She is all I have. When the system tried to take her too, I learned its rules, to break its lies. His eyes blaze, twin flames in the dark, fueled by a vow etched deep. Pages turn as Jaden underlines a passage. The book's faded covers a testament to his hunt for truth. The room groans, its cracks mirroring a world worn thin by neglect. Keisha's laughter echoes faintly from memory, a lifeline he clings to. Why does he fight so hard? The bulb buzzes, threatening to die, but his focus holds, unyielding. Each note sharpens his edge. What lies within those rules to save her? The neighborhood sleeps outside, its sidewalks split, unaware of the fire kindling here. Bars clang as present-day Jaden faces Keisha in a stark jail visiting room, her faded suit replaced by drab gray. She slumps, weary. They say I stole from the store I work at. It is nonsense. Jaden grips a file, knuckles whitening, and leans forward. It is a setup. I will prove it. His voice cuts sharp, a blade against the gloom. Keisha's eyes flicker, hope warring with exhaustion, as he taps the file, answers buried within. The room shrinks, its concrete walls a cage he vows to crack. A flashback flares, grainy news footage rolls, showing Judge Harold Grayson dismissing a case with a flick of his gavel. He steps outside, shaking hands with Sheriff Dan Cutler, a gruff white man whose sly grin curls under a brimmed hat. Their grip lingers, a deal sealed in daylight's glare. The scene snaps back as Jaden's voice drops. Grayson is dirty, I can feel it. He flips the file open, papers rustling, timelines and names scrawled in his hand. Keisha watches, silent. What does he see in that handshake? Tension thickens as Jaden traces a line, connecting dots from courtroom to cell. The flashback burns. Grayson's smirk, Cutler's grin, two pillars of a system he aims to topple. Keisha's hands twist, her faith in him teetering. Can a boy unravel their web? The file bristles with secrets, each page a step toward proof. How deep does the dirt run, and who else stands to fall? His words hang, a promise and a threat, as the jail's hum presses in. Light fades through a high window, casting bars across the floor, a shadow of the fight ahead. Jaden's resolve hardens, eyes locked on the file. Grayson's dismissal replaying, Cutler's hand a clue unclaimed. Keisha's nonsense charge fuels him, a sister's life dangling on his grit. The thrift store texts taught him rules, but this setup demands he break them. What lies in wait? The visiting room fades, his voice echoing, pulling the viewer into a battle where family and justice collide on cracked ground. Tension rises like heat in the Birmingham courtroom on day 2, the wooden paneling slick with humidity under glaring lights. Prosecutor Laura Hensley strides forward, heels clicking, and slaps a receipt onto the evidence table, linking Keisha to the theft. Jaden leaps up, voice firm. That receipt is forged. The ink is fresh, not faded. Test it. Hensley scoffs, arms crossed tight. He is a child with delusions, she snaps, her tone dripping scorn. Judge Harold Grayson leans forward, white hair glinting, eyes sharp. Prove it, or you are out. Onlookers whisper, a murmur of surprise threading through the benches. Jaden slides a forensic guide across the table, its cover worn but pages crisp, and cites a 1990 evidence rule with precision. The room stirs, whispers swelling as Hensley's smirk falters, her confidence pierced. Grayson's gaze narrows, his gavel hovering. Does the boy have teeth to his bark? Keisha watches, hands clasped, hope flickering in her faded suit. The receipt lies exposed, its ink a silent suspect under Jaden's claim. Onlookers lean closer. What happens if he's right? The air thickens, a challenge laid bare beneath the seal's stare. Hensley pivots, slamming her hand down, voice rising. He is unfit. Her demand cuts through, sharp and desperate. Grayson nods, his robe rustling as he sets a hearing to weigh Jaden's place, his tone cold. The gavel falls, a crack splitting the tension, and the crowd spills out, their buzz electric with doubt. Jaden gathers his guide, red tie stark against the chaos, unbowed by the threat. Keisha's eyes follow him. Can he hold this ground? The courtroom empties, leaving echoes of a fight teetering on a knife's edge. Outside, sunlight beats down on the courthouse steps as Mr. Tate, a black court clerk, intercepts Jaden, his uniform crisp despite the heat. He slips a folded note into Jaden's hand, voice low. Grayson has secrets. Check his old cases. Jaden unfolds it, scanning scribbled words that promise a crack in the judge's armor. A spark flares in his eyes. Gotcha. Tate nods, then melts into the thinning crowd, his tip a match struck in shadow. The note crinkles, a new thread to pull in this tangled web. Dust swirls as Jaden stands alone, the note's weight sinking in. Grayson's past, a door ajar. Hensley's push to oust him looms, a clock ticking toward silence. The forensic guide tucked under his arm proved one lie. What else can it unravel? Tate's words twist the stakes. How dirty is the judge, and what hides in those cases? The receipt rattled the room, but this tip aims higher, a spark to burn deeper. Jaden's grip tightens, resolve blazing. Will it save Keisha or sink him? Footsteps fade as the crowd disperses, leaving Jaden with a fight now sharpened by secrets. Grayson's nod replays, a judge poised to crush him, yet Tate's note shifts the ground. The hearing nears, a guillotine waiting to drop. Can he wield this clue in time? Onlookers' whispers linger, surprise morphing into anticipation. The courthouse towers behind, its seal blind to the storm brewing below. Tension coils, a turning point carved in a clerk's haste, pulling the viewer into a clash where one teen spark dares to ignite justice. Dust hangs thick in the library's archive room, the night before the final day stretching shadows across old shelves. Jaden pores over yellowed files, his white dress shirt untucked, uncovering Grayson's pattern. Cases. Dismissed for bribes, a trail of ink and greed. His fingers pause on a damning entry, breath catching as proof solidifies. A deputy looms in the doorway, voice gruff. Quit snooping. Jaden snatches the papers, heart pounding, and slips out a back exit, clutching the evidence tight. The library hushes, its silence a witness to a fuse now lit. Pages crinkle as Jaden ducks through darkened stacks, the deputy's warning echoing behind him. The archives reveal a judge's rot, payoffs masked as justice. Keisha just one thread in the web. Streetlights flicker outside, casting jagged beams on his escape. How close will they come to stop him? His red tie swings, a pendulum marking time to dawn. The proof burns in his grip. What can it topple before the gavel falls? Night cloaks his flight, a race to a reckoning. Chaos ignites in the courthouse on the final day, the room a furnace of gasps and shouts under harsh lights. Jaden stands tall, voice slicing through. This is not just about Keisha, it is about you, Judge Grayson. He points, hand on hip. Explain your lie to the court, that you did not take payoffs to frame her. Hensley objects, her shout shrill, but Mr. Tate rises, steady. I saw him pocket cash from Cutler. Jaden slams a ledger down. $10,000, logged. 2021, he declares, finger jabbing the page. Grayson grips the bench, stammering, This is absurd. The crowd erupts, a storm breaking as Tate's words land. Jaden presses a button, and a taped call crackles alive. Fix the Miles case, Harold. Grayson's voice, unmistakable, chills the air. His gavel bangs, a futile crack against the tide as deputies edge forward. Hensley's face pales, her objection drowned by shouts swelling from the benches. The ledger glares up, a guillotine of numbers and dates. Keisha watches, eyes wide. Can her brother's fire free her now? Grayson's white hair trembles, authority crumbling under a teen's glare. Tate nods, his testimony a rock splitting the judge's facade. The tape loops, each word a hammer blow. Grayson's stammer falters, his grip slipping. Deputies close in, badges flashing. Will they take him, or will he dodge this fall? Jaden stands firm, red tie blazing, the library's proof now a weapon unleashed. The room spins, onlookers on their feet, breathless. $10,000 dangle, a bribe exposed, teetering on a boy's resolve. What else hides in that ledger, and who falls next? Shouts peak as Grayson bangs again, his bench a sinking ship. Hensley slumps, outmatched, while Tate's quiet courage anchors the chaos. The ledger's pages flutter, a silent witness to corruption's end. Jaden's pivot rewrites the trial. Theft fades, replaced by a scandal too raw to bury. Deputies reach Grayson's side, hands poised, as the gavel drops limp. The courtroom fractures, a titan toppled by a teen's spark, pulling the viewer into a climax where justice bends under truth's weight, chaos reigning as the dust settles. Dusk casts a warm glow over the Birmingham courthouse steps, the sky bruising purple as a crowd roars with awe. Keisha's name clears, the theft charge erased by truth's hammer. Judge Harold Grayson stumbles down, suspended, deputies at his elbows, his black robe trailing like a fallen flag. He mutters, voice rough, "You are sharp, kid. Too sharp." His white hair catches the fading light, eyes flicking to Jaden with grudging respect. A law professor steps through the throng, gray suit crisp, and offers Jaden a scholarship card. Keisha rushes forward, wrapping him in a hug. "You saved me." Cheers swell as Grayson's shadow shrinks, his mutter lost in the crowd's tide. The professor's card glints in Jaden's hand, a future cracked open by his own fire. Keisha's arms tighten, her faded suit pressed against his white shirt, tears dampening his shoulder. The steps buzz, onlookers clapping, some stunned. How does a teen undo a judge? Grayson's exit marks the end of one reign, but his words linger. Too sharp for what? The courthouse looms, its seal softened by dusk, a witness to a victory forged in defiance. Voices rise, a wave cresting over the stone, as the professor nods, impressed. Keisha pulls back, her smile trembling, her brother, her shield. The scholarship promises more fights, a path carved from this chaos. Grayson's suspension ripples outward. What falls with him? The crowd parts, their roar a heartbeat of triumph, yet a hush clings to some, reeling from the shift. Jaden stands firm, red tie bold, a boy who turned a gavel's threat into dust. Streetlights blink on as news vans swarm, cameras flashing, a reporter's voice cutting through. Teen topples corrupt judge. Headlines flare across screens, Grayson's career unraveling thread by thread. Jaden steps away from the steps, standing tall on the sidewalk, a quiet grin breaking through his steady gaze. The city hums behind him, its cracked sidewalks now a stage for his rise. His white shirt glows faintly, a beacon in the twilight, marking the end of a battle that began with a sister's plea. Reporters shout, their words a distant drone, detailing bribes exposed and a bench emptied. The courthouse fades into shadow, its harsh lights dimmed, a titan's fall etched in its walls. Jaden's grin holds. What thoughts simmer beneath it with Grayson gone? The news replays Tate's tape, a judge's voice damning him from his own mouth. Keisha's freedom stands as proof, her hug a memory fueling his stance. The scholarship card nestles in his pocket, a key to battles beyond this dusk. Crowds thin as night deepens, leaving Jaden alone, his grin a quiet claim on the moment. Grayson's mutter replays, sharp, too sharp, a warning turned to praise. The news blares on, his name a spark across Birmingham, corruptions and a headline born from his hands. His tie catches a breeze, red against the dark, a symbol of the fire that freed Keisha. What rises next from this victory, and where does that sharpness lead? The city stretches wide, its glow framing a teen whose stand rewrote justice, pulling the viewer into a close where awe meets the promise of more. Soft light filters through frayed curtains in Keisha's apartment, casting a gentle glow over a worn couch where Jaden and Keisha sit. An old photo of their mom rests between them, her smile frozen in faded color, a bridge to a past they share. Keisha's voice breaks the quiet, steady and warm. She would be proud. You are our fighter. Jaden nods, his red tie loosened, eyes misting as he stares at the picture. His hand brushes the frame, fingers trembling slightly, a silent vow woven into the touch. The room wraps them in stillness, a haven carved from years of loss. Fabric creaks as Keisha shifts closer, her faded suit traded for a sweater, comfort claiming her now. The photo anchors them, their mother's eyes a mirror to Jaden's resolve. How much of her lives in his fight? His nod carries weight, mist clouding his vision, a boy grown too fast. Keisha's words settle deep, pride lacing every syllable. What did he carry to free her? The apartment hums, its cracks softened by this moment, a space where grief bends into strength. Her hand finds his, a squeeze sealing their bond, the photo, a third presence binding them. Jaden's breath hitches, the mist in his eyes a tribute to a mother gone and a sister saved. The couch sags under their weight, a witness to nights of worry now eased. Pride shines in Keisha's gaze. How long has she leaned on him? The light dims, dawn nearing, pulling them toward a final step. Their silence speaks, a victory tempered by memory, raw and real. Dawn breaks over a Birmingham street, the sky streaking pink as Jaden walks past the courthouse, its silhouette stark against the glow. His white shirt catches the early sun, red tie swaying loose, a quiet figure tracing a path of triumph. He pauses, gazing up at the building and whispers, "For you, Ma, and everyone they have hurt." His voice trembles, soft but firm, a promise drifting into the crisp air. The courthouse stands mute, its harsh lights off, a giant humbled by his hands. Pavement stretches empty, cracked sidewalks framing his solitary stand, the city stirring awake around him. His whisper fades, carried by a breeze past the steps where chaos reigned. The photo's memory burns, her pride, Keisha's words, fueling each step he took. How many others need that fight? His eyes gleam, mist gone, replaced by purpose sharp as dawn's edge. The street lies still, a canvas for a vow that echoes beyond this moment. Footsteps echo faintly as Jaden moves on, the courthouse shrinking behind him, its seal blind to the heart it shaped. Keisha's voice replays, our fighter, a mantle he wears now, light against the dark. The dawn bathes him, a new day washing over a teen who turned pain into power. His whisper lingers, for everyone they have hurt, a pledge to a mother lost and a world bruised. The skyline peeks through, glowing soft, pulling the viewer into a close where love and justice meet. A boy's misty eyes now a beacon for what lies ahead. Harsh lights blaze in a local TV studio, the anchor's desk sleek as a reporter's voice rings out, steady and clear. She declares, Jaden Miles, 15, did not just defend his sister, he exposed a judge's rot. The camera lingers, her words sharp against the hum of the set. Screens flash behind her. Grayson led away, a courtroom in uproar. A red tie bold under harsh lights. The tale unfolds. A teen's stand, now a scar on Birmingham's ledger. Her gaze pierces forward, a spark of awe threading through her tone. The scene cuts to Jaden's room, a single bulb casting soft light over peeling walls and a cluttered desk. He sits, white shirt sleeves rolled, pen scratching across a notebook. To every kid they doubt, outsmart them. His hand moves with purpose, each word a chisel breaking stone. A voiceover rises, firm and resonant. 1. Teen's courage cracked a corrupt throne, showing truth bows to no one. The desk trembles faintly under his elbow, but his focus holds. A boy etching a creed from a fight won hard. Paper crinkles as Jaden writes, the legal texts from years past stacked nearby, their lessons now his blade. The reporter's voice bridges the studio to this quiet space, her claim a crown for his grit. His message takes shape, raw, direct, a call to the dismissed. How many will hear it? The voiceover weaves through, tying his pen to a broader truth. What bends when courage strikes? Light spills over his red tie, loose now, a symbol of the fire that toppled a bench. Footsteps creak as Jaden rises, the notebook left open, its words drying in the glow. The scene shifts outside, dusk painting Birmingham's skyline in gold and shadow. He steps onto his porch, the city sprawling wide, towers glinting against the fading sun. His voice breaks the stillness, firm and sure. We are just getting started. The skyline frames him, a canvas vast enough for his resolve. His words hang, a vow carved into the evening, pulling the viewer into a future yet to unfold. Buildings shimmer as the camera holds, Jaden's silhouette steady against the glow, white shirt catching a breeze. The reporter's declaration fades, leaving his statement to stand alone. The courthouse lies blocks away, a memory dwarfed by this moment. What rises from its ashes? His eyes scan the horizon, purpose blazing, a flame ready to flare again. The porch beneath him steadies, a launch pad forged from a sister's faith. Silence deepens, rich with intent as his voice echoes beyond the frame. Twilight climbs, washing the city in hues of promise as the screen begins to fade. Jaden's words linger, a thread from his notebook to those watching. The voiceover's truth holds. Truth bows to no one, a lesson sealed by his hands. His step forward freezes in the final shot, the skyline a witness to a start unclaimed. The fade completes, his resolve rippling outward, a conclusion that opens wide. Outsmart them, he wrote, daring the doubted to rise. The city glows on, framing a teen whose fight reshaped justice, pulling the viewer into a dawn where his spark promises more.